The NBA regular season is back. Welcome, guys. My name is DK, and in this video, we'll be breaking down the first regular season slate of the year. Two games, Houston, Oklahoma City, and Golden State and the Lakers. If you guys are looking for more content, you can check out my premium linked in the description below, doing DFS content as well as props for both NBA and NFL. And the sponsor of the video, that's going to be Underdog Fantasy. You can use the code DKDFS, play $5, and it'll get $100 in bonus bets. Highly recommend it. I'm on Underdog every single day. They do have a lot of nice discounts as well. So definitely recommend getting on Underdog. And if you do use the code DKDFS or the link in the description, it does help support the channel. So I'd greatly appreciate that. So with that out of the way, let's just get into the video. So we'll go team by team here. We'll start off with Houston and Oklahoma City. So Houston, we already got confirmed starters. It's going to be Durant, Şengün, Thompson, Jabari Smith, and then Steven Adams. So they're starting a big lineup here. And based off the preseason rotations, I'm expecting Houston to run a pretty tight rotation. I would say eight to nine guys. So off the bench, you're definitely going to see Capella. He's going to play a little bit of the backup five. You're going to see Tari Eason for sure, and you're going to see Reed Shepherd. So those are 8 guys that for sure are going to play. As far as the 9th guy, I think it's going to be Okogie. And if he does play, I don't think it's going to be a ton. So again, of all the teams in the slate, I think Houston's going to run the tightest rotation. But looking at the price point, so 3 guys at the top, KD, Şengün, and Amen Thompson. Of the 3, I think Şengün is probably my preferred option there. So with Van Fleet and Jalen Green off the court last year, he had about a 25% assist percentage. However, in the preseason, the 3 preseason games in 24 minutes per game, he had 26 total assists. Offense without Van Fleet, a lot more of it has been running through Şengün, at least in the preseason. So I wanted to note that. KD at 9.7, not out of play, but for me, I think I'd rather get to Şengün there for a little bit less. And then Amen Thompson's going to be starting at the point. Again, he's going to have a bigger ball handling role now with Van Fleet out for the year. So 7.9K, a decent option in the upper mid range. And again, a guy that can kind of stuff the stat sheet. Looking at the rest of this roster, Jabari Smith at 5.2K, is going to be starting and probably playing around that 30-minute mark or so. I think he's a reasonable option. Tari Eason at 5.3, a little bit better point per minute than Jabari Smith, but not going to play as much. I think I would lean Jabari Smith over Eason right now. And then Reed Shepherd at 4.9K is going to be the backup point guard. Minutes, a little bit unclear, but definitely still viable on the slate. The 2 bigs, Steven Adams, I think, is a pretty good value play at 4.2K. Going to start, I think he's probably playing at least, high teens to low 20s minutes. And we know Adams is a good point per minute player. So, I think Steven Adams is one of the better values right now on the slate. Now, there is higher opportunity cost because he's only a center. And you do some other good centers on this slate. We got Şengün. We'll talk about some others in the other games or in the for Oklahoma City and then in the late game. I like Adams for value. Capella at 4.5, I think is tough to get to. He's going to be in the rotation. He's going to back up Adams, but I don't think you're going to get like all the center minutes for those 2. You're going to get some minutes of the 5 for Şengün. So Capella a little bit tricky to get to. And then I don't think Aaron Holiday will be in the rotation. I think Okogie might play a little bit, but not enough really for me to consider him there. All right, so let's move on to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, we got no J-Dub. He's confirmed out for this game. No Isaiah Joe. And then no Kent Williams and no Topic as well. So what I think Oklahoma City is going to do with the starting lineup, I think they're going to throw Case and Wallace in there for J-Dub. So I think they're going to go Shea, Case and Wallace, Dort, Chet, and Hartenstein. But if, could they start Aaron Wiggins? It's possible instead of Case and Wallace. Is there a chance they start Caruso? I guess, but usually they like bringing Caruso off the bench there. So if they go with the starting lineup, I think it'll be with Case and Wallace in there. Then off the bench, you're definitely going to see Caruso. You're definitely going to see Aaron Wiggins. you're definitely going to see Jalen Williams, the big, and then you're definitely going to see AJ Mitchell, in my opinion. Now, Dagnall historically runs a pretty deep rotation, so I would not be shocked if you see like a little bit of like Usman Jang or Barnheiser or Youngblood. Like one of these kind of end of the bench guys could sneak into the rotation and play a little bit. And it's just because of the way that Dagnall usually runs his rotations, right? Now, looking at the price points here, SGA at 10.3K, I think looks like a pretty solid spend up. I think I'd rather slightly prefer Luka, who we'll talk about in the late game, but SGA does get a usage bump and assist percentage bump with J-Dub off the court, so he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. So yeah, SGA obviously still looks good there. As far as the front court guys, I mean, I'm expecting Hartenstein to start at 5.4. This is a big front court against Houston, so I think this is a game that Hartenstein could push for 30 minutes for sure. So I think he looks like a really good point per hour play here at 5.4. Like the upside at Chet at 7.6K. With looking at everyone on this team, he's with J-Dub off the court. He's the guy with the second highest ceiling, in my opinion. So yeah, any of those top three guys, I think are pretty good options here for Oklahoma City. The rest of the team, a little bit trickier. Cason Wallace, if he starts, would be playable, but still not going to be a super high usage player playing alongside some other guys in this lineup. Lou Dort at 4.4K, more of a 3-and-D guy. If he's knocking down his threes, he can have a decent game, but relatively score independent. And again, we're out there for defensive purposes. Wiggins at 5K, he's a pretty good point per minute player, but if he comes off the bench, I don't think you can really project him for a ton of minutes. So I think it would be tough to get to Wiggins. Caruso at 4.6, I think is a pretty safe play. Big part of this team. So yeah, I like Caruso for value. Jalen Williams, I think will be in the rotation, but for me, I would just rather get to Steven Adams at a similar price point. You need something weird for Jalen Williams to kind of get extended. You would need Hartenstein or Chet foul. You need something pretty weird. So even though Jalen Williams is a good point per minute player, I think there's other value plays I'd rather get to. And then I think AJ Mitchell is going to get decent minutes at 3.8K. I don't hate him as a contrarian option. I don't think he's going to be super popular. But yeah, with no Isaiah Joe and no Topic, I do think Mitchell is going to be pretty solidly in the rotation here. And then, yeah, again, I think you might see one of Jang or Barnheiser. Sorry, I felt that sneeze coming. Jang or Barnheiser or Youngblood, one of those guys could sneak in the rotation, but for me, it's not worth taking a shot there. All right, so Golden State, they said the starting lineup's going to be fluid. What I think they're going to do for game one is Steph, Podziemski, Jimmy Butler, Draymond, and Horford, but they could switch it up. You could see Buddy Hield start or Kuminga. There's a few different directions they kind of go for Golden State. Also, Steve Kerr historically runs a pretty deep rotation, so just wanted to note that as well. So if they go with the starting lineup, I think will be Steph, Podziemski, Butler, Draymond, and Horford. Then off the bench, you're definitely going to see Kuminga. You're definitely going to see Buddy Hield. You're definitely going to see Quentin Post, and you're definitely going to see Gary Payton. So those 9 will definitely play. Now, I think you could see a little bit of Ricard. I think you could see a little bit of Guy Santos. It's possible you see a shift of Jackson Davis. It's in the range of outcomes. So yeah, there's Pat Spence. There could go Steve Kerr usually runs 11, 12 guys. So don't be surprised if you see that opening night, him kind of extending the bench a bit. But yeah, looking at players and their price points, Steph Curry 9.3, Jimmy Butler at 8K. I don't have any super strong takes there. I think they're both fine options. Not really guys who want to go out of my way to play. Obviously, I think Steph has the higher ceiling, but both viable here on this 2-gamer. But Podziemski, I think, is overpriced at 6.6K. So I think I'll pass there. Guys like Kuminga and Buddy Hield feel a little bit pricey too, especially if they're coming off the bench. Draymond Green at 5.7K is fine. There was a quote from Steve Kerr that said, he mentioned both Draymond and Horford, but specifically Horford, that he wants to limit him to around 20 minutes per night. So doesn't make Horford completely out of play, but there's really no minutes ceiling there, right? And I think they'll kind of take it easy for the minutes on Draymond as well. So not as high on the front court here, and that's just because of kind of what I'm expecting here for minutes. The rest of Golden State, I mean, Quentin Post, I think will definitely play off the bench. 3.8K. For me, though, again, I would rather get to Adams in the first game at a similar price point. Gary Payton will definitely play off the bench. I mean, he's close to the min price, so Payton is in play for that reason. I don't think he's in play huge minutes, but like I think you could see like 15, 20-ish minutes for Gary Payton, so definitely viable there. All right, let's finish up with the Lakers. So Lakers, again, no LeBron. We already got confirmed starters here. It's going to be Luka Doncic, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Rui, and then DeAndre Ayton. Luka had great numbers with LeBron off the court last year. I think he looks great at the top, an amazing spend up here. So yeah, Luka looks really, really good. Austin Reeves as the number 2 at 7.3K, I think is a pretty good option here in the mid-range. That's where a lot of where the offense is going to run. It's going to be a lot of Luka Doncic, and it's going to be a lot of Austin Reeves. There's not a ton of other super high usage players on this roster, right? So again, you're going to see a lot of Luka and a lot of Reeves. I think both look pretty good here. DeAndre Ayton at 6.3K as the starting center. Does feel a little bit underpriced. Again, there's a lot of good center plays, though, on the slate. But, yeah, I think Ayton, assuming no foul trouble, is definitely going to be playing 30-plus minutes a night here. Rui Hashimura at 5.6. I'm kind of indifferent on him, but a guy that, can provide a ceiling if he's making his shots. Sorry. Ugh. Allergies are killing me. I don't know why. Kind of out of nowhere. I feel like whenever I make a video, it's just like, oh, like my allergies have not been like bugging me at all. Oh, once I turn out a video, oh, okay, now I have to sneeze and whatever. It's annoying. But let's see what else. Marcus Smart off the bench of 4.3K. I do think he's going to have a pretty big role off the bench, so he's viable. Gabe Vincent starting, not a great point per minute player. Did have a good preseason, though. Had a couple really solid preseason games. So I think he's viable, even though he's, again, not a great point per minute player, but he's close to min price and confirmed starting, right? And then you're going to see Vanderbilt and Jackson Hayes in the rotation. Hayes will back up Ayton. Vanderbilt will play the backup 4 there. You're going to see LaRavia as well, so... we mentioned the starters. So again, if we talk through kind of the bench rotation, you're going to see Smart 6 as the 6, Vanderbilt, Hayes, and LaRavia 7, 8, 9. And then like you could see a little bit of Kleba if he plays, or Dalton Connect. But Connect has been struggling. He struggled in the summer league, struggled in the preseason as well. Kleba, again, questionable to play. Even if he does play, like, it's not even a guarantee that he is in the rotation to start. But, yeah, is there anything else? Mentioned LaRavia. Again, he'll be in the rotation. He's viable because he's really cheap as well. But, yeah, that's about it. So, it's great to have the NBA back, guys. I do have a prop thread over on Twitter if you guys want to check that one out. Go a little bit more in-depth with player props for this 2-game slate. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your night. Good luck on the first slate, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.